Today's lecture is on unit conversion, and you've probably done this in a lot of your science classes and even math classes before, so I'm just going to briefly kind of go through it for you today. So what does it mean to measure something? Let's talk about that first. And really a measurement is always made up of two things. It's made up of a number and a value and also units, right? Um, and that value that we're looking at, we're measuring something and it's respect to some standard, right? So there's different standards for length, there's different standards for temperature. Those are what we're measuring to. So, um, as an example, in freezing water in centigrade, it is 0 degrees, and boiling it's 100, and then they put equal increments in between for temperature. But if we have to report something along with that number, right? The number alone is necessary, but we also need to know what the units are, right? What is it that we're measuring? So 100 is at 100 inches, 100 miles, 100 degrees Celsius. We need that. Without it, it is completely wrong and meaningless. So let's look at conversion factors. A conversion factor is necessary to switch numbers between unit systems. So from the US customary units of like feet and in inches to meters, centimeters, meters. Well, there's a conversion factors between those. And there's also conversion factors within a unit system. So like within the US system, we know that there's conversions between inches and feet, that there's 12 inches to 1 foot and so on and so forth. So there's a number of different conversion factors, both between unit systems and within a unit system. If you go to page 448 to 450 in your book, it's chapter 15, you will find a number of different conversion factors there um, that you can use for your assignments. So let's go through some examples. First, let's talk about conversion factors themselves. And conversion factors are determined by definition. So if you look up in your book, you will see that 1 foot equals 0.3048 meters by definition. That is what it means, right? And if I divide both sides by this 0.3048 meters, of course, the right side in this would be 0.3048 over 0.3048 meters over meters, which is 1. So 1 foot divided by 0.3048 equals 1. Likewise, I could divide both sides by 1 foot. I'll have 1 foot over 1 foot on this side, and then I'll have 0.3048 meters over 1 foot on the other side. So I always will have two conversion factors, and really you'll see they're just the reciprocal of each other. So here again, these two both equal just a value of 1. So if I want to convert feet to meters, I can multiply it by 1, and E could be either one of these. I can rewrite this. I can think of 1 foot as 1 foot over 1. And in my numerator, I have feet. So I want to get rid of feet, so I want feet in the denominator. So I'm going to multiply it by this conversion factor. Right? So you see feet will cancel out and I'm left with meters. Now let's try this one. You can look this up in the back in your book also and in your tables. Let's convert paces. We want to convert 15 paces to meters. One thing you'll find is 1 pace equals 30 inches in your book by definition. We can write both conversion factors, dividing both by either 1 pace or 30 inches, and I'll have the two unit conversion factors. I know I want 15 I have 15 paces, that's in my numerator, so I want pace in my denominator, so I'm going to convert this to inches first. I'm going to set it up this way. I think this is a great way to set it up, and I recommend you do it for your homework. I will be looking for it set up this way. You'll have 15 paces, and then I put this bar, and this is my conversion factor. I have 30 inches per 1 pace. You'll see paces cancel off, and I'm left with 450 inches. Now I need to look at inches and how many inches there are in a meter. So I have 1 meter equals 39.37 inches. I can write both of my conversion factors. Again, I have inches, 450 inches in my numerator, so I need it in the denominator. So I'm going to use this first conversion factor. So I'll take my 450 inches, multiply it times this conversion factor, which again is 1, right? By definition, it is 1. And it will convert by changing my inches to meters. My inches cancel off, and now I'm into meters. Okay? That is how I'm going to want you to set up your homework also. So let's take another example. This is another way of doing it. This is 25 miles per hour, and I want to convert it to feet per second. I have the conversion factor of 1 mile equals 5,280 feet, and 1 hour equals 3,600 seconds. I'm just writing down the conversion factors or unit factors that I need. So here's my problem. I have 25 miles per hour. The first thing I want to do is convert miles to feet. So I'm going to use this conversion factor, not the reciprocal of it. I'm going to set it up like that. Okay. And then I want to convert my hours to seconds I'm going to use. And my hours is in the denominator, so I need hours in the numerator. So I can set it up like that. You see this one I'm running along as a string of values right across in my conversion. Where the previous example I'm going to quickly go through, I did it in 2 steps, right? I did it in these 2 steps. This one I'm doing it all in 1 step. And you'll see that miles cancel off, feet or hours cancel off, and I'm left with feet and seconds, which is what I'm looking for. So I end up with 36.67 feet. Is exactly what I want. So this is what I want you to do for your homework. So let's quickly look at the homework. Here's the homework. And you'll see there are these problems A through J. I have an example of how I want you to solve these types of problems. I want you to set it up this way. Obviously, it's really easy. You could take this and you could say, oh, well, I can just take this and I can use Google Convert, right? I can go to Google and I can say convert, right? And I can say convert this to radians, right? And there's my answer, right? And it even shows me the formula, right? So why am I doing all this? I want to make sure that you know how to do it. You can definitely go back and check each of these problems using that Google Convert, right? And check to make sure that your answers are correct. But if you only write down this number, this 60.35, I'm going to mark it wrong. What you need to do is you need to show me your actual work that you're doing for your homework. Okay? I hope this is a good refresher on unit conversion. If you have any questions, always please feel free to contact me.